Hey, up next on the MARR Army Rock Show, we do a little thing here called the Golden Dozen. We try to find our favorite 12 tunes from around the country, and we found ourselves looking at Ventura, California band Night Demon, and I thought I'd reach out to them. We're glad to have Night Demon's Jarvis with us on the show. Jarvis, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you. That's cool. I didn't know what this was about, so that's very cool that we're randomly selected as this fucking Diamond Dozen.
So the interesting thing, and I'm going to ask you about a little bit, and you might surprise you though, is that we actually, this tune that landed in our Golden Dozen was not Visteria. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit more. It was Are You Out There actually landed there. But let's talk a little bit about the band first. For our listeners that may be a little bit new to you, it's been almost a decade now since the first album. So give us a little of the history of the band and tell us a little more about you guys.
Yeah, crazy. It's been almost a decade. So Night Demon started when we were all 30 years old, which is kind of crazy because it was like, at that point, it was kind of like shit or get off the pot, It's
Sure.
like, are we going to create a heavy metal band that's going to rule the world and we're going to ride out into the sunset doing that? Or do we get real jobs and impregnate women, And we chose the first. And we've never looked back. When we started the band, we had no intention to be a band. We rehearsed 4 times. Sorry, our first 5 rehearsals, we wrote the first 4 songs. So every rehearsal, we wrote a song, and then the 5th rehearsal, we recorded the EP.
Now that's nuts.
Yeah, right. But I mean, listen, again, in the no pressure situations of life, right? Who cares, right? So, we had no expectations, and we never tried to be a band or anything. And after that 5th rehearsal, we kind of just went our separate ways. I mean, we were all friends and stuff still, and everything. But people, we had other bands and other interests and other projects in life, and we just never thought, coming from a punk rock beach town, Ventura, California, that anybody in the world ever liked this stuff, because we were new wave of British heavy metal fans forever throughout the 90s, pre-internet days, and I used to have to get copies of Sounds magazine on order, a lot of UK imports, and just the stuff I liked I couldn't find on the records in the record stores. The internet wasn't really happening then.
Yeah.
And we had no idea. We really had no idea. So we kind of tried to play it where the band, we tried to say that the band was from 1980 from the UK, and it was an underground garage band that nobody had heard of, and that's how we kind of tried to spin it. And then we made a 7-inch, and we did old school offset printing. We didn't put any dates on it. On the cover sleeves, we would spill a little bit of coffee on it to kind of, Yeah, I'm not kidding you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so I got a hold of the guy who runs New Wave of BritishHeavyMetal.com out in Europe, and also Malcolm McMillan, who wrote the New Wave of British Heavy Metal Encyclopedia. And I was just kind of like, hey, there's this band Night Demon from the UK from around 1980. They only did 4 songs. They never played live. I think, you should check it out. And it was basically the first response was like, yeah, bullshit. I would know about it. And I'm like, no, I don't think you heard these guys. They're called Night Demon again. And, there's only 4 songs. And again, they just never played live. It's really good. And again, he's like, yeah, bullshit. I know all bands. And I'm like, no, think about it. This is a long time ago. He's like, no, I know them all. If they fucking bought a guitar at a pawn shop, I know them. This guy really knows his shit. So I said, look, let me just, if I send this to you, will you take a listen to it? He says, yeah, sure. So we send it to him. When he gets it, I get an email right away. What do you know about these guys? Tell me everything. And I said, okay, cat's out of the bag. We just made this shit right now. And he's like, and he was like, this is fucking great. And he's like, he's like, you really had me, dude. He's like, you really had me. When I listened to even the production quality of it, he's like, it's all there. And it's the missing link of that era. And I said, dude, that's the greatest compliment you could have ever given me. Thank you. The band can now go and die. Right? And so he says, hey, do you mind if I stream this? So this was like 2012, I think.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, streaming was nothing then. And I go, yeah, that's fine. Just stream it on your website, right? And the next day, it's like 4 label offers come in, 3 festival offers in Europe. And I was just like, I literally cried. And some of the letters that I got from small record labels, like small labels, but like the letters that I got from them were just like, it wasn't like, hey, I want to sign your band. It was like pouring their heart out and just saying, my God, like, I need to be a part of this. And it just, stuff like that it really made a 30-year-old man cry. And I'm a 40-year-old man, and I'm not about to cry here on your show. But if I may. Well, we'll see. But anyway, so that's the story. And after that, it was kind of like, okay, are we going to do this or are we not? And so we just decided to do it. And we quit our jobs, we left our lives, and we left it all behind, man. And we were homeless for 4, maybe 5 years. And we stayed on the road. Our theory was this, that if we stay on the road all the time, nobody would even hire us for a job at home. So we wouldn't need a day job because we couldn't even get one. And that was the goddamn truth. And a lot of times we had no shows and we'd be staying at someone's house for a week in limbo or in a basement somewhere in fucking Geneva, you just don't know. You just got to roll those dice. We rolled them hard.
Was really Europe the bigger launching point than here in the U.S. then, it sounds like?
Funny enough, you would think so, right? You would think so. And I will say that most of our success is definitely dependent on Europe. However, we didn't tour Europe we were touring the States first. Raven brought us out on our first tour.
Oh, wow.
And we did 50 fucking shows with those guys. Just like much like Metallica, there's a lot of parallels there. And like, it was just, we did everything we could. We hooked up with a lot of underground heavy metal bands in the U.S., bands like High Spirits, Spellcaster, Ex Mortis. God, I know I'm forgetting so many, but like we did so much stuff with these guys, and we were all just fighting the good fight. We slept on floors together, and it was great. Like, the lifestyle was there, and that's what it was for us. We had the lifestyle. We were living it. We were actually doing it. And I'll tell you something. When you're in a situation where you don't know if you're going to eat, and you're 32 years old, like, it's fucking, like, it does something to you.
And that will test your drive to continue, doesn't it?
But listen, there were nights that we didn't eat, for sure. But listen, when you take that stage, and there's 15 people there, like, you play like there's 15,000 people there, because you gotta eat and you gotta sleep, and that is what catapulted this band. We were putting on fucking arena rock shows, bringing our own lighting, smoke. Our mascot was funny. Our mascot's name is Rocky, too.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
So he would come out on stage. I'd be doing everything short of a backflip. To make this happen. And, all of our money, we were pretty smart about it. All of our money that we had always went into merchandise. So we would end up in situations where it's like, okay, we have a 30-day tour. It starts in Atlanta. We're in LA. We have to get there, but we spent all our money on 5,000 t-shirts, and we have $500 to get there.
Yep, I know.
Let's figure out a way. And then we would get there with a penny to our name and go, let's move these fucking t-shirts now. Whatever. We would go to this, the shopping mall. Hey, you look cool, You look a lot cooler in this, right? So it's just that hunger and that desperation. And you know what? When you're young, you can do this stuff,
Yeah, man.
But I also grew up in an era where I didn't have to do anything when I was younger.
Sure.
I had a great family, and I don't know. I wasn't. I needed to toughen up, and I needed to do it on my own accord. And the timing is never right, but let me tell you something. The timing is always right, man. If it's in your heart, it's always right. And if you feel it in your gut, fucking go for it. Just fucking do it. Because when you look back, you're going to say, thank God I fucking did that. Thank God I fucking made that decision. It was the hardest decision of my life, but thank God I fucking did that, because it would have been another fucking decade of misery. Or not misery, but just listen, we go through life wanting happiness, but what we don't realize is that happiness is just an emotion. It doesn't define us. Neither does sadness or depression. What we're really looking for is fulfillment. And when I was able to defy the odds and just say, fuck it, I'm going for broke, my life was completely fulfilled. And I was the richest man in the world, and I still feel that way today.
So fast forward now, here we are in 2020, and you released a EP with kind of an interesting little title there, a song called Visteria. Visteria. So why don't you tell people what the definition of that is, and tell us a little bit about the song.
I don't want to, because I'm going to paraphrase it. How lame is that? Like, we wrote the we wrote the definition, but I'm like, I know I'm going to screw it up. And funny enough, Urban Dictionary, I believe, is picking it up as a real word.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that cool, right?
That is cool.
For it. So,
you coined a new phrase.
Basically, and you know what's funny? It's like, we get a lot of flack for the song because people, they're so quick to just jump to judgment without actually listening to the song. And even the video we put out, we put the lyrics on the goddamn screen, okay? And a definition before it. Like, hey, before you watch it, So basically the song is about this pandemic. We wrote the song in late March. Think about this for a second, okay? Mm-hmm. We wrote the song in late March. The song came out July 3rd, but, the vinyl was ready then. So that just tells you something. It takes a long time to press vinyl.
Yeah, sure.
We recorded the song a long time ago, right when this thing was being talked about. There was no lockdown yet, and our clairvoyance just kind of fucking said how it was going to go. We fucking knew how it was going to go, and it did. And so what Visteria is about, if you have Visteria, my friend, if you have a case of Visteria, that means that you are fearful and you are paranoid because you are being sucked in to the mainstream media, which is trying to keep you in that fear state so they can make ad dollars, and they're trying to control you and keep your eyes on them all the time. That's what it's about. It's no tinfoil hat song. We're not conspiracy theorists. We're not saying don't wear your mask. We're not saying the virus isn't real. We're saying it's been blown way the fuck out of proportion. There's a huge economic downfall, and there's a lot of people behind the scenes making a lot of fucking cash. And they know what they're doing. The news media knows what they're doing. They know what they're doing when they make the clickbait headlines that they make. It's for a reason, and it's for business, and it's for growth, and it's so that they can scale their fucking economy. And that's what Visteria is about. So if you're paranoid and you're afraid and you've been sucked into this fucking black hole, you have a case of Visteria, my friend. And we have the answer for you.
And there you have landed in the Urban Dictionary already. So that's all you guys for that. Now, the song, I hope this is cool for you guys. The song we actually gravitated to first, ironically, though, one of the things that's a little different about our show, sometimes we love the deeper cuts. And Are You Out There is one that we just went, whoa, when we heard it right away, and to me hit central on that thing. Tell me a little bit more about that tune.
All right, well, first of all, when you see Visteria as an EP, it's not an EP. The way that the reason why you see that on digital platforms is that we've been releasing a single every 5 weeks, not only digital, but a 7-inch vinyl that has an exclusive song on the B-side that's only on the vinyl. So what we've been doing is something that really hasn't been done before, and we call it a waterfall release. So basically, when you go to Spotify, Apple Music, things like this, when you hear the new single, the previous single rolls into it, right? So
okay.
It's labeled an EP because it's the 4th single we put out. So you're going to hear all the singles this year in one section.
Gotcha.
Right? But really, Are You Out There is its own single. So Are You Out There is a song. It's kind of funny. It's like, the song, I guess, is directly about Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy. I read a book about him. I mean, we're big Thin Lizzy fans, but it was inspired by a book I read about him. And the message is basically like, it's a letter to him from his family and friends and the people that loved him right before he died. And basically calling him back and saying, like, dude, you got to reel this back a little bit. You can save your own life. You know, and unfortunately he never did. But, you know, I've read a lot of rock bios, and all my heroes are fucking junkies or they're dead. And I went down that path. And in the music industry, I had a reputation of being like, hey, if you want cocaine, go to Jarvis. You know, if you want to party, go to Jarvis. Hey, whatever, anything goes. You want a good time? If that guy's around, go see him, you know? And I just got tired of that lifestyle, and just, it was embarrassing for me to be known as that. Not only among bands and fans, but among like the record industry and stuff. And it's just, you know, I had a big change in my life, and I turned a lot of things around. I still know how to have a good fucking time, but I didn't want to go out like these guys. I didn't want to go out like these heroes. Why was I idolizing these people? You know, like, just for their art. And I could still appreciate them for their art, but I put them on a pedestal, and in turn followed their actions in life, which I see where it got them. So I'm one of the lucky ones. You know, I made the decision. I mean, hey, look, I can still go back, but for now,
Yeah.
No, I know, but you know what I'm saying. I'm not. Because I hate to say things and then be the guy who does die from that. so like, you know, or like say COVID's not real, and then the guy who gets sick and dies, right? Yeah.
No, but I tell you, hearing what that song, that's why I love doing this show, because hearing the backstory to that song just makes it that much more of a cool tune, and I love it that much more now. So thank you so much for sharing that piece. Now, hey, a little, you know, not many people touring. I got a few minutes left here. Tell us what you think the prospects are for getting back out on the road, either here or in Europe. What's it looking like for you guys?
Well, we just had a festival in Mexico for September. We just had that postponed to 2021. We're scheduled to be doing Halloween night in Baltimore and then New York the following day. Those are going to get canceled. Those are going to get pulled. I already know it. 2020 is pretty much a wash, man. I'm really looking forward to next year. We've got about 6 months of touring booked and scheduled from beginning of April to the end of the year. And I mean, look, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go right now. Okay, like if you want to do a social distance show, fine. I'm not playing to cars. I'll tell you that right now. Like, we've been offered shows for that. We're not doing that. We're not playing for a bunch of fucking people in their cars. That's just stupid. Like, I feel that this sets the precedence of bad things to come. Like, I'm tired of hearing the words new normal. It's like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. You know, like that's nothing normal about a new normal. You know, it's like, and you're talking to a guy who's not normal, by the way. But I mean, look. A live stream of Night Demon is the worst representation of what we do. If you come to a Night Demon concert and you're there in person, like, you're fucking in for it, dude. That does not translate on the internet. It just doesn't, okay? So that's just not what we do. I'm willing to wait it out. The same with the mask thing. You know, a lot of our fans, like, they keep telling us, please make masks. We'll buy them. You know, and it's like, if Night Demon doesn't make a mask, there's no shortage of masks for people, right? So I don't feel that if by us not making them that we're contributing to the downfall of this society. But at the same time, I don't want to capitalize on this.
No, I know what you mean by that.
The cool thing about a Night Demon t-shirt is it's good forever, you know?
Yeah.
And I want to move past this. I don't want the future of the world to be wearing masks. And, like, I want to move past this. I want to get over it. Okay? And I'm not saying don't mask up. I'm saying don't expect us to go out there and fucking try and capitalize on this. Like, it's not happening. Like,
yeah, I totally know what you mean by that.
Wear the Night Demon T-shirt. You know, it's like,
I get it. Yeah,
I don't want to contribute to this new normal, right? So
I hear you, Jarvis. We would appreciate you being here. The band is Night Demon, and go find them out on your favorite digital outlets. But also, he's referenced this. If you're a collector of like the vinyls and things like that, these guys have some amazing stuff. So find them, check them out through all their socials and all that stuff, and you can access some really cool stuff. So, Jarvis, man, thanks a lot for spending the time with us today.
Hey, listen, you may be Rocky, but you got nothing to do with Philadelphia. You're on the other side of PA, so keep it real, all right? Okay?
Jarvis, man, thanks so much.
Thank you, brother.